Welcome back to Data Protection Diaries. Welcome back to the vlog. Apologies for those of you who were expecting a video last week. Things did get away from me and unfortunately I just didn't have time to put something together. So this is the video that would have gone out last week. In this video we're going to be talking about the GDPR principle of transparency and what that really means for your business, what that means for your organization, and how you can use that kind of principle of transparency to drive an agenda of cultural change within your organization, and how you can bring your customers and your organization and your senior executives along on that kind of compliance journey. As always, if you find this kind of content useful, if you find this video interesting, please do subscribe. You'll see the little logo in the bottom right hand corner of the screen. Of course, like this video and also comment down below if there's anything that you want to add to the conversation or anything that you think that we should be covering in future videos. But for now, let's get on with what we want to talk about today. So for me, there are two principles of the GDPR that really underpin the whole process, underpin the whole regulation, and really define what the spirit of the regulation is about. The first of those is transparency, and the second of those is accountability. Today we're going to focus on transparency, and then either next week or the next couple of weeks we will look at the accountability principle. But the reason I'm picking transparency as the point that I want to kind of drive home today is because transparency for me really is absolutely fundamental when you're looking at how your business is seen by customers, how your organization is seen by people from outside of your business, and it's about how you build trust and gain and build relationships with the people whose data essentially you want to have access to. Transparency then is obviously covered under recital 58 of the GDPR. It's also covered under articles 13 and 14 where it talks about the right to be informed. So individuals have a right to understand what information an organization is processing about them, why they're using that information, what their lawful basis is, and to just generally be informed of what is going on. Now that's really, really important because at the heart of the regulation itself, the intention has always been to ensure that people are better informed, people have a better understanding of their rights, and people are given the right amount of information and in the right format so that they can make the right decisions about what kind of organizations they want to work with and how they're going to go about understanding what organizations know about them. For many people, transparency is about privacy notices, it's about fair processing notices, and that is a huge part of it. Ensuring that your privacy notice is well written, well drafted, that it's clear, that it's easy to understand, and that you're not using any kind of jargon, any kind of phrases or terminology that the average person wouldn't necessarily understand is obviously really, really important. So the first thing you can do is take a look at your privacy notice, have a look at how it's structured, how it's written. Is it 60, 70 pages long? Does it need to be? Avoid language like we may, we might, on occasion, and stick to the things that you do. You know, we will, we are. To be able to deliver this service, we need to. And be very, very clear about the information that you're collecting, why you're collecting that information, and of course what you're going to do with it afterwards. Because being transparent is about being open and it's about being honest. It's about telling your customers, telling your service users who you are and what you're really going to do with their information. The next thing that you can do to kind of improve transparency within your organization is look at how you discuss data protection internally. So how do your teams function? If you're an in-house DPO, how involved are you in the conversations that you need to be involved in? How transparent is the organization from an internal perspective? Are you being appropriately informed when a new system, new technology, or new process is being created? Are you being involved in the correct meetings? Do you have access to the right level of senior people? Are they giving you the information that you need to be able to make a clear, well-defined decision about whether or not an activity is going to be appropriate? Being transparent is about opening the doors of your business. And that doesn't just mean opening the doors of your business to people from the outside. It has to be people from the inside as well. Driving that cultural change, explaining that to your seniors, explaining that to your executive teams and your senior management teams is very, very important if you want to start expressing and being clearer and more transparent in the outside world as well as the inside. Another important part of transparency and why it's so important for organizations to kind of grasp this is that what you're essentially doing is you're trying to build trust. You're trying to build a relationship with either your ideal customer, potentially with your ideal employee, even with your ideal investors. So you want to be able to tell these people what you do, why you do it, why there's a benefit to people, and why there's a benefit to you as an organization, and be able to demonstrate what that balance is. If you've created an AI tech solution, for instance, that uses a variety of different algorithms and systems to make a determination, to come up with a decision, to define whether somebody can have a mortgage or whether somebody can have credit, if you can't explain how that works to somebody so that they have an understanding of how their information is being used, then you're not being transparent. If you are in a position where you don't want to explain that to somebody, or you don't want to have to explain to somebody what it is you do with their information and how you do it, then you're really not being transparent, and you're also probably operating on the wrong side of where you need to be from a regulatory perspective. Going even further than that, for me, transparency is about how your organization runs, how you present yourself on social media, how you present yourself on your website, providing enough information, enough resources. If you get asked a lot of questions, so if you're in the kind of service sector and you get a lot of regular questions from people either about the information that you hold, where you got that information from, then having FAQs on your website, so having access to information where these kind of questions can easily have their answers put online, where it's quick and easy for people to access, is a fantastic way of improving the level of transparency within your organization. And you will also find that you're going to build a much greater level of trust with people that want to use your services, or people that are interested in using your services, if they can see that that information is readily available and you're happy to provide that information. Imagine how you would feel visiting a website thinking, I don't really understand how this piece of technology works, but I am interested in purchasing it, and then being able to find a list of FAQs which basically answers all of the questions you have about the information you're going to put in, what's going to happen to that information, what the output is going to look like for you, so that you don't have to go investigating. Companies that are transparent and open and honest in that way, in my experience, have much better customer engagement rates. They have a much greater level of trust with their customers, and generally as an organization, they tend to be much more accountable for the way they act, the way they behave, and how they use and process information. Now, I'm not saying that transparency is just about being open and being honest. It's not. There is absolutely no point in being open and being honest if it's all bull. It has to be honest, it has to be accurate, and you have to be living it from inside the organization. And that is why accountability, for me, is the next most important principle under the GDPR, because that's how you're going to demonstrate how your transparency actually comes across in your operational activities, how you're actually behaving, and how you can demonstrate and show that that is actually happening. So we're not going to cover that off today, but we will cover that off in a later video. For now, if you are looking at transparency within your organization, if you are wondering how to make it work, As I say, the best place to start is have a look at your privacy notice, have a look at how your website is structured, have a look how easy it is for people to find out information about what it is that you do, what you're going to do with their information when they've been handled it, and who can they contact if they have any concerns. Making that information freely available, easy to read and easy to understand is the best possible first step you're going to be able to take in making your organization more transparent and potentially more compliant. As always, this is a fairly succinct view on the world. Of course, if you do have any comments, please do post those down below. If you like this video, if you like this content, please do me a massive favor. Make sure that you subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, and look forward to seeing you again next week. Thanks so much.